was a criminal scientist who gained dream manipulating powers via the magical Dreamstone. Guesses? It's Dr. Destiny, and he used that device to torment the Justice League on our last episode. And in that issue, he did all of this without leaving his jail cell. That's why he was our MVP. Find out tonight who will be our new MVP on Avengers versus Justice League. Yo, gang, welcome back to another Avengers versus Justice League. This is the series breaking down Silver Age team-up comic books. We're going issue by issue through the Justice League and the Avengers comics one by one. And tonight is the end, the 20th issue in the run to consider our season 1 a wrap. That's me and the magical of all lassos.
What's going on, Bogey?
It's boggy. I'm not a boggy.
Bogey.
Better than being a boogie.
Yes, boogie.
What's going on, my friend?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to talk about two comic books that I really wasn't feeling. And I think it's kind of, I get a lot of joy about talking about the books that maybe I don't love as much. But we'll see what the audience thinks. As always, folks, if you're catching this on the rewind or you're watching with us live, we appreciate you hanging with us. Those of you who catch it live, you get to decide who wins tonight. Ryan and I are going to go through. We're going to talk about the covers of these books. We're going to get into the interior art, the story, and then those characters that are most valuable in the plot of these issues. And we'll give you all of our opinions and hear your thoughts in the chat until we get to the very end, and we will ask for your official vote, and we'll determine who wins and who loses between these two comics. Not a Ryan versus John as much as a you letting us know which book you would prefer to read if you were going to read one of these issues.
Yeah.
Of course, Ryan here, he's got the entire volume 1 of the Justice League of America now.
Did it. I did it.
Congrats.
Thank you.
And I have the first 20, almost 25 comics. So we're reaching the end of what I have collected in the original run. Obviously, there's a lot of the later issues that I've got and some things that happen, towards the end. But as far as volume 1 is concerned, I'm peaking right now. This is kind of the end.
The funny thing is,
issues.
we're starting to get closer now to my oldest Avengers in my collection.
Oh.
We're getting there now. So as you start to wind down, I start to amp up just a little bit.
So you can start holding these up as well.
Yes, I can. I've had none to hold up for Avengers so far.
I mean, these are definitely not for the faint of heart. Getting some of these books can be very expensive.
I've seen some of them in the wild, even recently. I mean, How often do you go to a comic book store and on the wall is a raw Avengers #1?
I mean, that's fair.
Saw a #1, #2, #4, I think 6, 7, and 8
Dang.
on the wall. Not knowing they were going to be there. I just walked in and they were just there.
Yeah, so tonight we are talking about issue number 20. So this is what we had long considered to be the end of our first season, although it took us, 18 months to get to this point. We were going through issue by issue, and we kicked the show off with a look at our first 10. And we're going to end it in a month over on Ryan's channel with a look at our second 10 issues, 11 through 20, talking a little bit about how they look, how they held up, our favorites maybe in the bunch, now that we'll be able to kind of look back and reflect on these comics now that we've read them all.
Yeah.
Fun.
I'm looking forward to that.
Be on the lookout for that in the near future. But let's get into a little bit of these issues, and I'd love to see your copy of Justice League 20 and maybe hear a little bit about where it came from, how you got it.
So my Justice League 20 came into my collection last year during Free Comic Book Day.
Okay.
So a lot of comic book stores will have sales at that time, and there was like a 50% off back issue sale. And, at that time I was very actively working my Justice League collection. And I'm like, oh, it was starting to get to the point that it used to be I go to a store and there was always a JLA that I needed at a comic store. And then it got to the point where they became rare and rare. And this was kind of at that part where they were starting to become rarer and rarer. So that's how I added this into my collection. And, one sometimes is never enough.
Oh, is this the earliest issue you've got duplicates of?
Yes. Yeah, actually, I think you're right. This is the earliest issue I have duplicates of.
I don't remember you doing doubles up until now, so that's pretty awesome.
I have some that are facsimiles or other things, but true authentic one, I got to show this while I have it because you never know. One of these might go in a 1K celebration.
Oh, that's coming up, by the way, gang. Yes, in January, we're getting our 1K party over on the Magic Lasso YouTube channel.
So...
I forgot to say hello to Ruben and Russ. Thank you. Yes,
and you know what? You know who Ruben and Russ are? They are the Earth's Mightiest Chatters.
Earth's Mightiest Chatters. That's right. Earth's Mightiest Chatters. We're not doing a roll call over here on the Avengers streams. Awesome. Well, let's then I'll share mine then.
How'd you get your copy?
Yeah, this I routinely during this series have talked a little bit about how sometimes my books will have a little sticker on the back. And that implies that this was a gift from my friend TJ the Slab Dragon Watson, and that he got these in a collection in his area that came from a young man who had passed away very, very early in life. And his parents had all of his well-preserved Silver Age comics, and TJ got all of them, and this little boy had marked all of them with these little circles, these little stickers. And so
do you
TJ
think that
kept the stickers?
Do you think that original, or that collector that originally came from that passed away, did he buy this off the rack, or did he buy it as a back issue? Do you know?
I got the sense that he bought them off the rack.
Wow.
That this was a purchase that he had made as a young man.
Wow.
So yeah, it also means that these are the issues that are just stunning, gorgeous. I have sent off, I think, only 2 of them to be slabbed. I got the first Wonder Man slabbed, and it was like an 8.0 or 7.5, something like that. Really beautiful Silver Age book. So yeah, these are gorgeous, and I want to say, I'm a handful here in these the first 20 included those little stickers on the back. So there you go.
That's great.
But let's talk about these covers. Since I got mine held up here, I'd love to hear do you have any thoughts here on Avengers 20, the cover?
So I'm happy that we're not as wordy as we normally are in the Marvel.
Yeah, this might be the least wordy Avengers cover we've gotten.
I think it's interesting that on the cover, for the words that we do get, is special note to art lovers. Wait till you'll see wonderful Wally Wood's inkings of Don's drawings in this great ish. So that was interesting that they put that there,
Right.
It's our cliffhanger ending from the previous issue. So that's perfect. You got a lot of characters to fit in, and I think it kind of does a good job of, with the exception of Swordsman at the top,
Yeah.
It does a good job of giving our main characters enough room, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I kind of like it. Like I said, even the Vengeance is ours doesn't really bother me, even though it is a lot of real estate up on the top. But what else would you put there? Nothing really. So
right.
So why not? So I kind of like it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I like that it is the cliffhanger from issue 19 leading into here the beginning of issue 20. So it captures exactly what's happening in the beginning of the book. I love the perspective of, it seems like he's falling right towards us, and the shock and awe on the 3 Avengers at the bottom of their faces, or the sides of their faces. But the angle, the perspective of it is great. I love the lack of writing on the cover. So this is an eye-popping, I really want to read this kind of cover. For me, I do agree it's an odd box at the bottom there that is almost like Stan felt like he had to include something, but he didn't know how. I love the Vengeance is Ours. I think it fits nicely, frames the top half of the cover. So yeah, it works for me. This is a fun cover for sure.
Okay.
Let's take a look at that Justice League cover.
Yeah. So we have a pink cover, which I don't think you get a lot of even nowadays. You don't get a lot of pink covers.
Yeah.
But in both copies I have, the pink. Yeah, I mean the pink's there. You can tell it's pink. But I'll tell you what I think really works though is when you look at it digitally and it's been remastered and recolored, and then you see the pinks there. That really pops.
All the way down. Yeah.
When it pops like that, I like the cover a lot more.
Yeah, mine in the omnibus is like that. So for those that don't know, I'm reading this out of the Volume 1 Justice League omnibus, and it's very similar to that. Very bright pink all the way to the bottom, versus it sort of is more like an ombre on your covers where it starts darker and it gets lighter.
Yeah. But for the overall art, I mean, it's interesting. You got obviously a huge giant that's ripped a building off the ground and the Justice League trying to stop them.
Right.
In a way, this kind of reminds me of one of the earlier Brave and the Bold covers before they launched their own title. It just kind of gives me throwbaak feelings to that a little bit. Or kind of
because they're battling something giant and they're all kind of tiny.
Yeah. But I mean,
it's still no Batman and still no Superman.
Yep.
So you have like the original squad represented a little more fully, although they do have Green Arrow in there as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think that they do a good job as well as showcasing, the heroes. Granted, a lot of them had their faces turned to the cover, but it is what it is. So, that's what I have. What do you think about this?
It's dynamic. I think it's very energetic, and I like the pose of the villain is very exciting. The idea that it almost looks like he's going to hurl this building at them. To your point, yes, they're all so tiny, but they're like working as a crew to battle this creature. It all works really well. Of course, Diana looks amazing on there. I think Green Arrow doesn't get too blocked by the speedster coming through. I'm not quite sure what Aquaman is doing. It almost looks like he's punching Flash.
Yeah, it kind of does.
At the bottom.
I think he's supposed to be attacking the feet, but
maybe, sure.
And Flash's position's kind of interesting too.
Right.
He looks like he's cartwheeling.
I think the idea is that they're fighting each other, because you see what happens in the story at this moment is, the teams are coming back together, and half of them think they need to stop the villain, and half of them are like, no, let the villain do what he's doing. So because I see Green Arrow is shooting a flaming arrow at Martian Manhunter, who's like, oh my gosh. And it looks like the lasso of truth is being kind of thrown at Green Lantern. So I do believe that maybe Aquaman is battling the Flash there, which to the plot of the story is capturing a moment that's accurate, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts?
No. So who has the better cover between those two?
Russ, you're in the chat. Anybody who's in the chat, feel free to let us know. Is there a better cover? Do you like one of them? Prefer one of them? Is there one of them that would make you buy it maybe more than the others? Ryan, what are your thoughts on comparing these two?
I have a hard time with this category.
Yeah.
But it comes down to, let's say these both were prints, to put on a wall. And I could only get one, because I have so much on my wall already. And which one am I going to get?
Yeah.
I think, and what really sells it for me are the deeper colors in the remastered version, but I'm going to go with the Justice League because I really like how the pink pops. I wish it popped a little bit more on the actual physical book, but
it might have been an artistic decision that to your point, that changed when they went to a remastered version. Less of the ombre fade from dark to light and more of the solid color.
Yeah. I mean, I like the other cover too.
I think that this is the main category where I feel like both of them are hitting home runs for me. So like, I could totally understand anybody picking either cover and being like, oh, this is really exciting. I want to read this.
For me, we often talk about how these issues, which are published 2 years apart at this time,
they're getting
like
closer.
25 months actually, how sometimes they have similarities. And On this one, I could say we got some of the characters with their backs to us on the cover. That's a
Right.
similarity. That's interesting.
For sure. For me, I'm going with the Avengers cover. I would absolutely buy this. I would look at
Okay.
these two and be like, well, I want that Avengers book. I got to know what happens to Captain America. He's being
Yeah, I
thrown
can
off
see
of a
that.
building. How are they going to rescue him? It's also so light on, all the words on the cover. I'd be like, ooh, what are they doing differently this month? What's going on here? So for me,
Yeah.
it was a no-brainer that this is one of the better first 20 issue Avenger covers for me. So I would go with the Avenger cover.
If only we had someone lurking in the chat that could help us break that
Yeah,
down.
Perry, let us know which cover you would purchase, which cover you would prefer to have in your collection. Looks like Russ says it's a great Avengers cover. I don't know if he would prefer to buy the Justice League, though. So let us know, gang, your thoughts on which is the better comic book cover of these two here. And we're going to start moving into the story. The way we do this is one of us will be reading the story and the other will be showing you some of the images from the interior as we go through it. I'm going to go with the Justice League story first. So I'm going to put you in the driver's seat so that you can share the images for that.
Okay.
While I recap Justice League issue number 19. Oh, sorry, 20. We're on 20. What's wrong?
Yep, 20.
And as you saw on the cover there, yeah, we had Perry's going with Avengers. All right. Appreciate that, Perry. We had this giant mystery spaceman X sort of lurking in the city. And the comment here is that he doesn't say anything, and the heroes have to figure out what is going on with this guy. Why is he here? Right? And we jump inside, and this was my first irksome challenge here. We have nothing to do with this guy. We're going to go to somewhere. We're going to go to a far off planet. We're not even going to Earth. We're going to Alamar in the Sunstar Mizar, which I don't know if I needed any of that, but I got a lot of information. We've got the invisible jet, now a spaceship kind of thing, flying into this planet to check it out because they're there, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Green Arrow, to take out a machine on this planet, a machine that is impacting other people on another planet, that is causing them to be in sort of slumber, right? What is up, Matt? I appreciate you, man. He says he likes the Avengers cover as well, but both are great. There you go. Appreciate you commenting on that. And we're going to ask you to comment on the story here in just a little bit after we recap. So they land on the planet. The machine is on the top of this sort of plateau, this island in the middle of the sand here, the dunes, and they can't seem to get to it. Wonder Woman tries to fly the ship in, doesn't work. She tries to fly herself in. She gets caught in these winds. And in the end, they have to use a boomerang arrow to get her out. And then they try to even make this giant crab thing move up and destroy it for them. But Aquaman can't get it there. The slopes are too slippery. So what they do is they team up and they pull this island closer to them. They do that with the lasso, some rocket arrows on the back of it, and Aquaman talks the crab into pushing from the other side. Correct me if I'm wrong. Aquaman has super strength, right?
Yes.
Why is he not pulling on the rope with her? I just don't understand. Kind of pissing me off here. Arthur, get to work, buddy. Like, put in the work. But it does work. They pull it close enough that they're able to jump up on top and destroy it. And they go back to the planet expecting to be conquering heroes, only to find that everybody's still asleep. And they're dejected. And they don't know what to do. So they're going to go home, is what they're doing. They're taking their ball and they're going home. They get home and they're kind of frustrated and depressed. And we go back. We travel back in time about a day to where these heroes first went on this mission. Clark Kent learns a little bit about this issue happening in these 3 planets in the Mizar system, and he calls the team together. He's like, Justice Leaguers, we got to figure this out. We're going to break into 3 groups like we do every single week or month, and each of us is going to go and try to free a given planet that is being brought under manipulation by by machines on the planets, right? So that's what sent them off on these missions. But now these 3 heroes, Wonder Woman, Green Arrow, and Aquaman, are all disappointed that they failed. And while they're sitting there stewing in their failure, a news bulletin comes across the radio on Snapper's radio. He was trying to find the song Bossa Nova, couldn't find it. Instead, news bulletin, there's a giant spaceman in the harbor messing with the boats. Time to go off and be superheroes. So they're all excited. Snapper's like, yeah, man, now you get to be heroes again. Go fight bad guys. That's the end of part 1. Part 2, we jump over to Lantern, Flash, and Manhunter, and they are on another one of those planets trying to take out another one of those machines. This one guarded by a green dragon who, of course, breathes fire. Not so good if you're the Martian Manhunter. But he can also turn yellow. Not so good if you are the Green Lantern. Thankfully, they're protecting each other amidst all of this. The Flash is like, well, I can just run over there and destroy this machine. He zips all the way over there, and he starts trying to like kick the machine, but there's a vibration. Turns out the dragon is flapping its wings and causing a sort of counter vibration, throwing them all off. And then I'm assuming he just throws up on him. And that's what that green pea soup stuff is. It says a power beamed emerald wave hits the Scarlet Speedster, washing him away from the machine. I'm just taking that as vomit. You guys can take it however you want, or sneeze, snot, however you want to do it. The team is frustrated, dejected. They decide to work together. Green Lantern will block the flame. Martian Manhunter will pummel the dragon, and together they'll get in there and destroy the machine, go back and be conquering heroes, only to find out didn't work. Didn't work. Everybody on the planet is still petrified. They can't possibly figure out what's going on, so they're going to go home. They're taking their ball. They're going home, only to find giant spaceman Mystery Man X is in the harbor pushing the ships around. Wonder Woman, Green Arrow, Aquaman, they're all trying to team up to stop this guy. They're kind of impacting him. They're shooting arrows at him and doing these things, and all of a sudden lightning strikes. 2 big lightning bolts hit this giant man, the spaceman. And they're like, oh wait, maybe he was rescuing those boats from a lightning strike, like he knew it was this awful thing was going to happen. So they're like, well, let's follow him around and see what else he does, because they can't get him to talk. Then we go into part 3. What's up, Old Wolf's in the chat? Why are we all wearing black? I mean, I'm wearing my Captain America shirt, man. What do you got to do with me? I don't know what you're talking about. They follow him to a giant dam that he is blocking up to stop a disaster there. They follow him to a building he picks up because something's going on with the building. But that's when the scene on the cover happens. And Manhunter arrives, and Flash and Green Lantern arrive. And our heroes have to stop them from stopping the spaceman, because they're like, hey, no. Spaceman's actually doing good things. Let the spaceman do his thing. So they follow him. A giant hole opens in the ground. It was like a giant sinkhole. And wow, another disaster averted. The spaceman's doing good. So they're like, well, we got to figure out how to talk to this guy. But while they're doing that, we jump to Batman, Superman, and is it just the 2 of them? Was there a third man?
No, I think it's just 2 of them.
Adam. The Atom is with them. And they are on a planet full of plant creatures who are floating away from the land. They're without their roots. And our heroes arrive, and they're like, oh, there's the giant machine. It's surrounded by these powerful red spheres. The heat is almost killing Batman. They're like struggling with what they do, and then they turn around. Hey, the plant people are okay. What's going on? Why are the plant people okay? We didn't even destroy the machine yet. The plant people are like, yeah, turns out the machine on that other planet was stopping us, and our machine is stopping one of them. And so it's like everybody's got the machine for a different planet. And after the heroes sneak it over, they're like, oh, wow, well, let's destroy this machine. And now all the planets should be good now. And then we can get home and check with our teammates. And they get back to Snapper, and he's like, hey, everybody's super depressed. I guess you can cheer everybody up. Turns out they're fighting a giant spaceman out in the ocean. You should check it out. So they go over there. Tidal wave is coming because this guy has made a tidal wave, the giant spaceman. And they watch it happen, and it stops another tidal wave that was coming from the other direction. And everybody's just at a loss with what this guy is doing. So they start using their tools to examine him. And they see that he's a giant robot, a machine man. And they're trying to understand where the signal is that's coming to control him. And they're following it to a spaceship up in outer space. Or is it on? No, it's on a distant island nearby. And they go to try to investigate, but then the thing gets angry, and it's almost more powerful, like it's been feeding off of all the natural disasters that they've been battling with. Superman and Martian Manhunter realize that no, the ship is not housing a person. The ship is the alien itself, and that they decide, I need to fly this thing far away from the robot man so it cannot control them any longer. He flies it into outer space and it turns into Groot, or Metal Groot Man. And it starts to fight Superman, saying, ha ha, all this time I was just deceiving you, and I'm super powerful and invulnerable, and you can't stop me, Superman. And I've been doing this whole thing with the evil plan of destroying your Earth, and now I'm more powerful than all of you, and I've absorbed enough energy to defeat you. And Superman's like, perfect job monologuing, because I was just acting like he pulled the Princess Bride. I'm not left-handed either. And he turns around and starts beating the stuffing out of this guy, and then throws him all the way into outer space and basically wishes him luck on life in the far distant galaxies that they land on. And Snapper's left going, wow, I can't even keep up with you guys. You're on all the different planets.
Yeah.
Ryan, are your arms getting tired because John is talking too much? Hey, I just told you an entire comic book story, and I did it in less than 10 minutes. Choke on that one, old wolf.
He sends him on a journey around our galaxy.
He does.
It will keep you alive, and it will last until the end of time. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a perfect throw right in between all the planets and moons and things. Yeah. So he's just going to keep flying forever. Snap your way through. But Ryan, now you can give Old Wolf the just desserts, because we can do the same thing. Revenge is a dish best told. It is now your turn to tell the story of Avengers 20.
Vengeance is ours, they say. So here's just to pick up when last we saw our heroes. In 30 words, the powerful swordsman wanted to join the Avengers, but was rejected because of his questionable past. Hence, he trapped Captain America, expecting to force the others to accept him until, and our Avengers are watching Cap. Hawkeye thinks he's been pushed. Scarlet Witch is like, no, he jumped. And Quicksilver's like, he did it for us, so we wouldn't surrender, but we've still got a chance. So Quicksilver leaps into action and grabs an antenna and starts whooshing around to create a wind geyser to slow him down. Talk real slow. And that works enough. And Cap, it already seems to know what's on the agenda, because he aims his arm so Hawkeye has a shot to break his hands free, which he does. And then Wanda knows that Quicksilver's weakening, so she uses a hex. And she caused the rivets to pop out, loosening the girder alongside of him. So we have the girder dropping right in place where Cap needs it to. He can land on it. His hands are free. He does a little somersault to safety, and he is back in the fight again. So Quicksilver retrieves his shield for him, and Cap starts to head back to the swordsman. And Swordsman already takes notice and says, they're far more dangerous than I thought. Individually, each one is an enemy to be respected, but as a team, they're practically unbeatable. So Quicksilver arrives, and he's trying to get the Swordsman's trying to get him, but he can't because Quicksilver is just going way too fast. And Wanda says it's time for a hex. So all of a sudden, this girder pops up that Swordsman ends up hitting. And Quicksilver is back in the form again to try to grab him. And he uses a plank with no time to dodge it. And essentially, that's kind of the end for the swordsman. He knows that he is outnumbered. And Captain America flies in with the shield. And they start to fight. And Cap orders the rest of the Avengers to stay back. Although they've all kind of surrounded him. He says, all of you stay back. Whatever he tries, I can handle it. Then all of a sudden he starts to vanish. And they're like, that isn't possible. His only magic lies in his swordsmanship. And he's like, before he vanishes, this isn't my doing. It's got to be one of you. And then, poof, he is gone. And they're just as perplexed as the swordsman is. But the fighting starts already. I just naturally talk fast. The fighting starts already. And they're squabbling that they didn't work as a team, because really Hawkeye and Quicksilver have their own secret agenda because they want to be the ones who are leading the Avengers. And Scarlet Witch is like, it's no time to squabble like this. We have to learn what happened to the swordsman. And they're also throwing it out there too, hey Cap, maybe you shouldn't have handled him alone. We should have done it as a team. But now what has happened to the swordsman? We see this eye. And it's an eye that's kind of followed this entire battle. And it's halfway around the world the swordsman has traveled. He materializes, wondering where in the blazes am I and how did I get here? And from a nearby chamber, the energy from a jeweled ring sets powerful forces in motion, and the oversized doors slowly swing open, and Swordsman is told to enter, and he realizes that he's in the presence of the Mandarin. And he's obviously been heard, or he's heard of the Mandarin before. He says, I always thought you of a legend of an old wives' tale. And he says, that's because that is how I wished it to be. It's not yet time for the world to be aware of me or of my plan to complete the domination. So he says, at this point, my plans are modest. I desire to destroy the Avengers, and I've selected you to be my agent. He's like, what are they to you? He says, as a group, nothing, but my most hated enemy, Iron Man, may return to that team. And when he does, I want you there, a member of the Avengers, to smash him within. So Iron Man is the only one who's ever defeated Mandarin. And that's what he is really upset about. And he says, you don't have a choice. You are going to be, my agent for this. No one resists the will of the Mandarin. And Swordsman initially is like, forget it, and these little parlor tricks that you're doing aren't really my cup of tea. But Mandarin starts to show how powerful he is, and Swordsman can't even hold on to his sword. Something is yanking it away from him. And as he goes to try to retrieve the sword and maybe fight Mandarin, he is instantly stopped, and he is helpless. He's kind of held hostage in a sense, not being able to move. So we cut back to the Avengers at this point, and Cap says, hey, we're going to keep fighting, essentially, but I pulled this out because I didn't want anyone, since we were in public, to hear what we're talking about. Now we're back in the mansion. If you got problems with my leadership, and they're like, leadership? What leadership? And you see that there's pointing, and even Captain America's like, get that finger out of my face if you want to keep it. And, Hawkeye's making a plea that he's the one. And then Quicksilver's like, well, neither one of you are rational enough. Obviously, I should be the leader. And Hawkeye starts to go after Quicksilver a little bit. And Wanda reminds him, if you anger my brother, you also anger the Scarlet Witch. And he says, hey, Quicksilver, I could beat you just with one of my arrows. And he's like, nah, that's not going to happen. So they decide, okay, I'm going to fire my arrow at the calendar. And whichever one gets to the calendar first, obviously, is the faster one. So all of a sudden, ready, set, go. And before the arrow can hit, Quicksilver's already ripped the date off of the calendar. And so Quicksilver obviously is faster. And Quicksilver offers Cap a chance to throw his shield, but he says, no, I get the message, Pietro, How about you, loudmouth, when he's talking to Hawkeye? And he's like, well, big deal. What does one race prove? So now we're cut back over to the swordsman, who's realized how powerful this Mandarin character is. He's a bigger threat than he thought. And he's like, why should I waste my time fighting him when the Avengers are my real enemy? If he can humble them, why should I look a gift horse in the mouth? So right. I'm going to go along with this. And then when I need to, I'll just take out Mandarin. That's my plan. Mm-hmm. I'm going to make him think that I'm in for it, but I'm in it for myself, is what he's saying on these pages. Mandarin has really amped up the power on Swordsman's sword. And he says, learn the new features that your sword has, which are all kind of like the rings that he has too. And he's like, here's an example. Pressing this releases a bolt of man-made lightning. And he's like, if you try to use this sword against me, though, you will find out that whatever you're trying to do to me is going to turn around and attack you. And Mandarin's like, oh, I guess you kind of thought of everything, haven't you? And he's like, yes. He's like, well, how am I going to get back into the Avengers' good graces? And he says, well, I've already thought about that, too. He makes a perfectly accurate Suno image of Iron Man that's completely under his control. And the words that Iron Man speaks are actually Mandarin. He says, I can project him anywhere on Earth. So back at the Avengers Mansion, there projected is Iron Man. And they're like, what's going on? He's like, I'm still in Europe, where they knew he was at. He says, but I'm sending this image to you because I have a message of great importance. And they're like, okay, well, your voice sounds kind of strange. He's like, well, naturally, I'm so far away that it's distorted a little bit. And Scarlet Witch is like, well, what is your message? And he says, it concerns the swordsman. He must be accepted for membership in the Avengers. I personally sent him here to join our team. When he came to you, he was trying to show you how powerful and useful that he could be, but you misunderstood and you didn't give him a chance. And Hawkeye's ready to start debating here. And he's like, hey, I don't have time for a lengthy debate. I just have one question, Hawkeye. Didn't we give you a second chance when you didn't have a perfectly good record with the police either? And Hawkeye's like, well, yeah, that's kind of true. And the Iron Man image goes away. And Mandarin's like, okay, that's your in. I'm sending you back. Farewell. So that's what he does. He sends the swordsman back the exact same way that he drew them to him. So Avengers turn around, bing, bang, boom. Swordsman is there. And they're like, well, congratulations. You're one of us now. And he's like, I'm glad to be with you, even gladder than you think. And Hawkeye says, next thing you know, we'll be swearing in Dr. Doom. So Cap has given Swordsman a little bit of a tour. He says, don't mind the others. But Cap is also thinking, I need to keep an eye on you. And during his probationary period, that's what they're doing. And Swordsman knows that he's being watched constantly because he hasn't won their trust. But one day during a rest period, they're not looking, and it's time to complete Mandarin's trap. He has a gadget that looks like an innocent dial on their control panel, but it's a bomb capable of finishing them all off when Iron Man shows back up. No one saw him put him there. But he starts to think it's such a shame that, the beautiful Scarlet Witch is going to be blown up. I wish that she wasn't going to be harmed. So later that night, he's sleeping in his tighty-whities, and Mandarin projects his image to him, and he's like, get up and get out because I'm setting off this bomb now. And he's like, I thought you were waiting until Iron Man came back. He's like, nope. He's like, this will draw Iron Man back, and then the two of us will be there to take him. And at this point, also with him thinking about how pretty Wanda is and she shouldn't be blown up, he didn't expect this to happen, and he's like, I can't let him do this, not like this. Now they at least have to have a chance. That's the sportsman's way of conduct. And so he gets all costume up, and he's going to go remove the device, because if he takes it off, it's not going to blow up. But he gets caught by Cap, and it appears to them that he's just planting the device for the very first time. And he says, no, let me explain. And they're like, no, there's no time for explain. And they go right back into instant battle. And, he's got this more powerful sword right now that he didn't have before. And he's using some of that, including some flames. The Avengers leap into Plan G as they've rehearsed. So Quicksilver starts engulfing the flames to take the oxygen out and diminish them. And Hawkeye is shooting his arrows. Wanda is using a hex as he's trying to run out the door. She switches it so he's running into the opposite side of the room. And they use he knows the Mandarin's disintegrator button will reduce the control panel to atom. And he's like, I'm about to get hit with the shield. Quicksilver's on me. I got to get the heck out of here. And he tries to make it through the flame, and to the Avengers, they wonder if he made it through or not. They hear this big explosion, or if he got caught in this explosion. But there's all this cloud of steam from a hex that Wanda threw off that set off the automatic sprinklers. And when it's gone, he's gone. And then they hear the explosion, and they wonder if the bomb got him. And they say, let's hope, Wanda, for our sakes. So it didn't get him, because on the rooftop nearby, he says, I suspected the Mandarin would try something like this when he realized I betrayed him. Luckily, I threw the whole thing into the air as soon as I heard the mechanism begin to throb. It's over. The Avengers will be out to get me and the Mandarin too. It's too bad it ended this way, because there was something about being Avenger, even a bogus one, that seems to get in your blood and never let it go. And then back in the Orient, the Mandarin is furious. Never again will I take a partner. I failed because of the swordsman. To avenge my honor, he too must be destroyed. And then we get what will happen with this. Expect to see both these characters back in the future.
All right. Good work, sir.
So you guys can start voting right now based on the synopsis that we gave. Who had the better story? And John and I will talk a little bit about each one of the stories while you're voting, but you can vote now.
Thank you, Matt. He says, I love Silver Age, so I enjoy both, but I feel like the Avengers issue is more multi-layered with more depth to the story, including the details of relationships between friends and foes alike. Thank you for that. I appreciate you, Matt. Yeah,
I
let's
do
talk
too.
about the Avengers book. You just wrapped it up. What were your feelings about this issue?
So right at the end, where Swordsman is saying, they're going to be out to get me and the Mandarin too, that caused
Yes.
me to scroll back and reread. I'm like, nowhere in the story does it say the Avengers know that he was tied to the Mandarin. So how do they know that? Like the Avengers shouldn't know that the Mandarin's involved in this at all. Yeah,
Plot twist.
but I did like the story. I thought it was fun. I agree with what Matt said about a little bit more depth in the story.
Hmm.
I did like it. It still pulled on some of the strings about the leadership and the jealousy over the leadership that we've seen in previous issues. And this was, part two of a two-parter that we had.
Yes.
And I actually like part two better than part one.
Oh wow. Okay. I for me, it felt a little choppy, and everybody seemed like super ill-defined. Like I don't know why Captain America was like super petty in the arguments with these guys instead of being like a leader, someone who's going to teach them and train them. He comes off as very much petty, just like Hawkeye. Like they have a lot of funny, strange sort of pettiness about all of them, except Wanda, who's very much like Scarlet Witch in Age of Ultron when she's like, or not, sorry, Black Widow, who's like, I don't need to try to lift Thor's hammer. Like, I don't need to go
Yeah.
through and test myself on this. Scarlet Witch is the only one not vying for the leadership job, which is like everybody else is like, no, I'm the better leader. I'm the one that should be leader. And then there's Wanda like, nah, you guys can do your little measuring contest. I'm just gonna worry about stopping the bad guy. So there's definitely a little bit of that for me.
I have to say, right now, I feel incredibly stupid because it wasn't until Matt's comment right now that he took it as his own guilt more than they actually knew. Then I went back and reread that. I'm like, I totally like blanked that. Swordsman knows that he has two enemies, the Avengers and the Mandarin. The Avengers didn't know that the Mandarin's involved.
No,
So
they
I
only
took
know
it
that they have the
completely the other way every time I read this until I read Matt's comment. So thank you, Matt. Dumb.
Saving the day.
Yeah.
I will also say that there's a ton of like very convenient solutions or problems in this. Like a hologram of Iron Man shows up and you're going to take the guy who just tried to murder you as a teammate. Like that's the only approval
after
that
he
you
just
need.
disappeared mysteriously, and then someone
killed
reappears mysteriously.
Yeah. Way too convenient for me. Massively convenient for me. And I've got some issues with the Mandarin. I don't feel like his decision making is so baffling, right? He's going to give him all this power to his sword, but not really expect him to use it. Instead, he's going to like plant a bomb, and the bomb is the big tool. And then he's like, "Oh, I got to get Iron Man." And then he's like, now let's just blow everybody up. It seems very like convenient logic that he's utilizing in this story, and that kind of kept pulling me out of it. I was like, come on, Mandarin, you're supposed to be a threat here, besides the fact that you're wearing like a really crappy ski mask as your costume now that I've never seen him with that. I was like, well, yeah, so there's the other thing. This part I laughed out loud, Matt, the first time I read it, when he's like, oh, Iron Man's here, you sound different. In my head I was reading it as if it was the Mandarin without changing his voice, like Borat. Like he's like trying to like pretend to be Iron Man. No, it's me. I'm Iron Man. Trust me. Don't be scared. I'm here to help you.
I'm just far away right now.
Yeah. That's it. That's what I was picturing. There you take Swordsman as your new Avenger. Trust me, he's good. He's a good swordsman. And they're like, you know what? I think Iron Man's onto something. Like I agree with him. So for me, it in that way, maybe it's just Silver Age fun, and I just had to let go. But it felt like a bigger leap than they usually are asking me in these issues, and I was like, yes, I can laugh at it, but it pulled me out of the drama, I guess is what I'm saying. Any other thoughts on that one? Should we talk a little bit about Justice League?
Yeah, let's talk about Justice League.
So I'll go first on this one since I keep making you go first. That's not really fair.
Okay.
My biggest gripe with this issue is that it seems like two stories sewn together very poorly.
I see that.
Because the cover and the big splash page at the beginning are like Mystery Spaceman X, and then you jump right into a story that has nothing to do with Mystery Spaceman X, and you're in the middle of that story. You're not even like at the beginning of this story. So I was just left kind of like, what in the world? And then by the time they actually get like 7 pages in and they're explaining everything, you finally get Mystery Spaceman X, and I'm just like, okay, you've already pissed me off. Like, pick a story to tell instead of telling 2 at the same time and doing them all out of order. What's up, Bobby? So that was my biggest gripe, and the stuff that really kind of irked me. Visually, I think it's very exciting. Visually, I think that they do a good job of like capturing the scale of different things, whether it's the dragon or the giant spaceman or the robots or the aliens. Like, everything has an interesting scale to it, and I think that's presented very nicely. But again, convenient Silver Age storytelling. You know, Clark Kent's just walking down the street and he's like, oh, there's a problem on spaceman on this galaxy 3 light years away, and I know exactly the name of all the planets. I know exactly the issues that they're having, and we got to get a team out there to solve this. It's a very convenient plot device here. And then they're dealing with this creature that's like destroying things. Oh, sorry, the Spaceman X is like creating. He's solving problems, but he's also making problems at the same time, and they don't seem to have any interest in like doing anything about it on their own, if that makes sense. Like, oh, the dam is breaking, let's watch to see how Spaceman solves it, instead of like, oh crap, we can stop we're the Justice League, this is kind of our job, why is this guy doing our job? Like, there were moments when I was like, guys, you can't tell that there's a tsunami coming? Like, you're not hearing the sirens, the tsunami sirens? Yeah. Like, there were moments that I was like, gang, this is your job, right? You're the Justice League. What were some of your thoughts?
So as you mentioned, the story just kicks off with a bang, almost to the point where you feel like you've missed some pages.
Oh, a bunch of pages, yeah.
And then previously, there's been some other JLA issues where in the beginning it's like, oh, just get the story going already. Come on. It's been 4 pages. Come on.
Yeah.
I would like something a little bit between the 2 of those extremes.
Yes. Yeah.
So
this is not it.
This is not it. And they're very concerned about making themselves feel much better after what they perceive as failing at a mission that really they didn't fail at. They just didn't know that they didn't fail at it.
Right.
So I don't know. That's kind of my thing.
Okay.
With the story.
All right. Any thoughts on the characters and how they came across in the story, or how they were doing characters, plot lines, and things like that? Anything there?
No, I thought that they did a good job, like with the robot especially, not only in terms of scale that you were talking about, because I see that too. But like, you could just tell that robot didn't make a sound. He didn't say anything. Like, you could feel that. At least I could feel that personality of that. And that takes good writing and good art in the combination of both to portray that. And they did that very well.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Bobby says Superman knows things, and he has ears.
Yeah.
Matt says it's the classic JLA formula of trying, more times than not unsuccessfully, to tie the different scenes together into one. They always start separated and have to do their part and then come together. Yeah, this is very true.
It's the formula.
Very, very true.
So, you guys, who has the better story?
Yeah, you guys in the chat can vote and let us know. It sounds like Matt was picking the Avengers issue as his favorite story of the 2. What about you, Ryan? Did you have a clear favorite? Because I will tell you, for me, I didn't. Like, story-wise, I was equally frustrated and giggling at both. But, what's up, Carlito, in the chat? What's up, Carlito? Good to see you, friend. I did not have a clear favorite. So I'd love to hear your clear favorite and kind of the rationale.
My pick was an easy pick for me. It's, once again, I look back and go, if I'm only going to read one story, reread one story, and it's this one or this one, which one am I picking? And it was an easy Avengers pick for me.
Okay.
It's just, I thought there was a little bit more The stakes felt a little bit higher in the Avengers one.
Okay.
Maybe because they had a previous issue to set it up too. Could be. But I mean, we're getting ready to do a 2-part JLA very soon. So, we'll see if that works for the JLA's advantage as well.
Sure. Okay.
But I just like the Avengers one a little bit more.
Nice. I struggle. Like, I don't know that I have a clear pick, but I'm kind of equal parts frustrated and giggly, like, oh, this is ridiculous for both of them. Neither one of them ranks very highly in our first 20 issues for me. Neither one of them has a lot that I'm excited about. I love the beginning of the Avengers issue, so that might give it the edge in the sense that I liked the cliffhanger. I liked the resolution of the cliffhanger. But the second it gets into the really petty bickering between these characters, I'm kind of like, I don't like these people. Like, they're all really annoying for me. And that's where it kind of gets pulled away. And then they have the very weird, like, Iron Man tells you from afar with a weird accent to, like, take somebody on the team and you just do it. That kind of stuff irks a little bit. Jackson Roy Kirk shows up and he says, Avengers.
Meow.
Bobby says, Avengers assemble. Matt says, the main difference is I see in Marvel and DC in the Silver Age is the relationships between the characters. DC are all very polite when Marvel lets it hang out and warts and all. Bronze Age is when DC adjusts. There you go. Love them both, but he leans Marvel. All right. So it seems like overall the chat is agreeing with you, and then I'll just sort of throw my hat in the ring on that one as well. We'll call this an Avengers story sweep across the board there, I guess.
That's fair.
But let's get into the interior artwork. Which one do you want to talk about first? Do you have a preference?
Let's do Justice League since.
Sure. Yeah. What are your feelings on what Mike Sekowsky is doing in this issue for the JLA?
I say the same thing every month, but it's true. He's consistent. He's good. He does still, but he's not just copying the previous stuff. He still finds or looks for new angles to try to put the characters in. And when you have this many characters to work with, I don't think that's the easiest thing. I thought his detail, let me show it here. The spaceman's face is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that. Consistent on the art. I'm happy. I'm really happy with the artwork. I just don't have.
There's a lot of fun about. There's a lot of fun, like we were saying, scale that he gets to play with here. The size of the aliens, the size of the Spaceman X, the giant crab creature. There's a lot of interesting stuff that's kind of toys that he gets to play with in this particular issue.
Even the spaceman when he's laying down, that's really good too.
That's the scale. Yeah, any of those shots where you have a few of the JLA plus the giant spaceman, I enjoyed that scale totally. Matt says he thinks the art is far closer to a toss-up than the story was for that.
Batman's face makes me kind of laugh here, though.
It's very flat.
Yeah.
But Superman looks great. Look at Superman in that. And the Atom doesn't get a whole lot to do in this issue. He just seems to kind of cling on to the shoulders of everybody. There's a few panels that don't quite work for me, but there's plenty that really do. I'm still confused by the dragon ooze.
Yeah.
I don't understand what I'm seeing there. And the perverted brain of mine sometimes is like, what is that? I just don't know what to do. Did the dragon just pee on them? Like, is that what it was? Sorry, I'm putting you on the big screen because you got the beautiful digital version to share there.
That's true.
My favorite panel, if you want to go towards the beginning, is on the 4th page, and it's Diana basically when she's trying to move the island in the lake.
She's
holding
center,
on with 2 hands.
Center one, right?
No, it's at the bottom right.
Okay. Oh, that one. Oh, yeah, that is good.
I love the pose. I love the angle of it. She just looks like she is pulling with all of her might.
Mm-hmm.
And in my mind, I'm giggling at like, Aquaman, what are you doing? You can talk to the crab and pull the lasso at the same time, my guy. Yeah. Get your butt in gear. So I love that panel. There are so many good Wonder Woman and Superman drawings in particular in this issue that I was going through going, ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. So those two characters in particular shine for me.
So my favorite panel from Justice League is one that made me laugh.
Okay.
Because when I want to say this first before I show the panel, because when I looked at the panel, I could hear music in my head. And it reminded me of almost music like from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, hi ho, hi ho. That's what.
Blame it on the bossa nova.
Yeah. And my favorite panel is.
Oh, sure.
Hi ho, to save the earth we go.
Springing into action.
Yeah. So that's what I liked.
Awesome. Any others that you want to highlight there? You want to jump over to the other book?
Nope. And by the way, you guys can start saying, in your opinion, who had the better artwork.
Yeah. Let us know if there's an interior artwork that you feel like is the clear winner or is somewhat better in your opinion. Mm-hmm. I will say one of the things I'm enjoying on the Avengers side is the way that Don Heck is drawing the Quicksilver in motion. Phenomenal. Mm-hmm. I will say I also came away from this issue feeling like what I'm seeing is great color work. In fact, before we went live, I even joked with you that like we can't seem to be able to find out who did the color work inside the issue. I had to research it online, but dynamic, really energetic colors that really pop off the page for me. I love this panel.
I'll say one thing about the color work though.
So great.
Swordsman and Hawkeye are colored so similarly that like you have to look, really pay attention.
Which I think is more of an editorial decision. Like you guys could have picked another color, but there's some really great stuff with Quicksilver's like speed and the line work on him racing with the arrow that I really loved.
Well, even this panel I kind of like too. It's not my favorite panel.
Great.
Oh, I like that Wanda too.
Yeah, sorry. Let me switch this around here.
But that middle panel here on Hawkeye, that's pretty cool with the red and the black in the background.
For me, every time I like a panel in this particular issue, the color is what I'm popping to, right?
Yeah.
I'm just like, wow, look at the use of the pinks or whatever. Like, there's some great panels in here.
The Magenta Witch.
Yeah, and I think, and in general, what I'm feeling like in this particular issue is that there's some fun stuff happening with color work going on here, and everything just kind of has a fun vibrancy that I really think is cool. So, did you have a favorite? Oh, I wanted to point out something here.
Yeah,
you pointed out a panel, here.
Yes,
that close up of the eye. Notice the mask, because this is an art flub, because that's the mask, and then now this mask.
You're right. Yeah,
do you see there's a huge difference. In one, it's one giant opening here, and then the other, it's just one for each eyeball.
Yep.
That is a screw up, and it drives me crazy because this looks like crap. This looks awful. I hate this mask. It looks so stupid.
Well, the earrings aren't that great either.
It looks like he found Hawkeye's mask and then like cut it up a little bit and colored it red.
But it has, it's almost like a Hawkeye Scarlet Witch mask. Because look at the way the points come up.
Yep. See, some comments are happening in the chat. I'm sorry if I'm not catching them all. Bobby says Aquaman doesn't waste time talking to crustaceans. Don't waste time talking to crustaceans. Bobby says I love that Avengers team, taking me back to when I was learning about them. Matt says great points from both of you about the use of color here. It's great, good call. So yeah, any particular favorites that you wanted to highlight? Any that I'm not mentioning here?
I mean, we showed a lot of them, but I'm ready to share my favorite panel.
Yeah, I'll swap us around.
And for you guys that don't know, because I've said this before, I just read the book and I let the panel try to find me. Like sometimes I turn the page, I'm like, wow, look at that. I look for those moments. And sometimes if I have more than one of those moments, then I just narrow it down between them. But in this book, I turned the page and I saw this panel and I went, oh, I really like this because I haven't seen anything like this. this top panel
Oh, okay.
where they're catching swordsmen.
Yeah, that's towards the end.
Thing, and you get a sense of the scale of the Avengers Mansion.
Right.
I like that they're turning the corner.
Yeah.
You know, I like that Cap is 2 steps ahead of Hawkeye.
Sure.
In this, and I just thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
I don't know that I had a simple favorite. There's just a lot of ones that I thought really were interesting. Whoa, and whoa. So like I just there's some very, again, the color work is really exciting, really interesting. I was really kind of blown away by the energy that the issue kind of had. This one was an easy, like, fun favorite. Oops, sorry, if I can get the lighting on it right. Where it's basically they're testing. There it is. They're testing out the swordsman, and they're all kind of watching him.
Yep.
It's got a great dynamic energy to it. A whole lot of fun, and everybody gets their little spot in the sun there. Yeah, but those are the main ones that I wanted to highlight. But again, the color work was a whole lot of fun. Here's that one where Quicksilver is running around, putting the fire out around Captain America, the flames, the green. Really great energy in some of these. Really a whole lot of fun.
And how scandalous might it have been in the 1960s when this came out? First appearance of Tidy Whities in a comic book that we've covered in this series, at least.
In this series, yeah, but I know we've seen Peter Parker in his undies by now.
Sure. But
all right, so the chat seems to be Avengers heavy tonight. Did you have a favorite between these two?
Yeah, I'm going to go Avengers.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong. I like the Justice League too.
No, I don't think we've ever hated an issue of Justice League on art.
I don't think we ever have.
It's always been like, oh, the Avengers was just good enough to maybe take the point.
Yep. What about you?
I was definitely torn between the two. Again, this felt like it was on par with each other. But the color work was so strong in the Avengers one that it's the one that I ended up choosing. Swordsman, very misunderstood Avenger. Mm-hmm. So yeah, the color work is what edged it for me and made it the winner. Because I kept going back through and looking at the way they did fire, the way they showed the lighting that came off of the fire, the way they showed the speed that Quicksilver was moving at with the green and the line work. I think that's what ultimately made it win for me.
Okay, cool.
Do we want to finish off? Let's get to the MVP. This is the category where we talk about, we have not planned any of this ever in advance, but we'll go book by book and pick the character in each that was the most important in that, and then let them go head to head. I will go off script here on Avengers for you.
Okay.
I'm picking Stan Goldberg. I'm picking the colorist. I can't think of anybody else in this issue that I would say is a clearer MVP as far as like doing the Lord's work in this book. But I'd love to hear if you have somebody else that you would put up against the colorist of this comic.
I just couldn't find a character for it this time.
Same.
That didn't mean I didn't enjoy the book. I just couldn't find a character. Now, the JLA, I have a character for my pick when we get there. But for the Avengers, I just couldn't. So I'm good with the colorist.
Yay. So Stan, congratulations. This is our first time having an artist.
Creator.
Yeah. Get the spot. So yes, Stan Goldberg is the MVP from the Avengers book. But let's jump over to JLA, because I have a clear favorite here as well, and I don't care if you want to go first or me. It doesn't matter.
You can go first.
For me, this is a Superman story, top to bottom. So I'm picking Superman. He's the one that throws the bad guy into the far reaches of space. He's the one that first hears the signal that sends them on the mission that they're going on all across. And he's the one that calls everybody together. So for me, this top to bottom feels like a Superman comic book to me, and he is the main character.
That's definitely something to think about. My pick, I say there's just a clear choice. Superman!
Yeah! So we're in agreement. I love it.
Yes.
So now, chat, you've got to help us decide. Is Superman a better MVP than Stan Goldberg? So it's
What I liked about Superman is that he was the first one to pick up
Mm,
also on the destroying a bomb in one area free someone in a different. And I
right,
think that that was so important
for
because that
sure.
was planted on purpose to make people think that they didn't
Right.
do their job. So that's what I liked.
No, I'm fully in agreement with you. Now comes the question: do we feel like one of these two is clearly the MVP of issue 20s across the board?
Man,
I
this is tough because one of them's a real person.
I mean, probably not still with us, but
No, but still was a real person.
he was. But I don't think his family is going to be upset if we don't choose him as the MVP of
No.
issue 20. Um, he passed away in 2014. So there you
I was just looking to see.
go.
I see his picture.
I hate to put someone on the sidelines, but Stan gets my vote, says Matt. For me, the only reason I'm picking Superman, I think, between the two of them, is because it's so much harder in that Avengers book to find an MVP. We're kind of like scratching our heads who's the MVP. And it took me a long time to land on Stan. It took me a long time to be like, you know what? The star of this book is the color work. And I just decided to research and find the guy's name because I was like, I was looking for an MVP versus the JLA book. There's no question in my mind. This was a Superman book. So in that way, I think Superman gets my vote just simply based on the fact that it's inconceivable that you'd pick anybody else. He is just the clear champion. So I'm going to go with Soups. How about you?
That's what I'm going with too.
Oh, there. Okay.
Yeah. I
So
don't
Superman.
no duking it out on that one or anything too. I think, but I'll say that's pretty awesome that Stan. I mean, he still won his Marvel category. It's just
and the chat. He wins the chat category because both of them. If it's strictly characters, then Soups has it. He is the only one. He's the only focus. Yeah, and that's ultimately why I would pick. Although I love the fact that I felt the need to research and find out who did the color work on this book because it was just so captivating.
And he's not
so
in the credits on the actual book.
Yeah, we noticed that obviously it's never really in the credits for DC. They don't really highlight the creators at this phase in their history, but on the Marvel book, they only give you the big guys. They don't give you the colorist. They give you the letterer. They give you the inker, but that's about as far as it goes. They don't give you anything more than that. So something to consider, I suppose.
Yeah. So where are we at? Is it Superman or
Superman?
It is Superman.
We choose this one, right? It's the chat doesn't decide, right? Yeah. But the chat did agree with the voting there, and I appreciate that. Okay, so it's time for the overall vote. This is the big one, folks. You in the chat, you get one vote a pop. You pick either Avengers or you pick JLA. Those are the votes that matter. Right now, what's the overall scoring here, Ryan? We're at a lot to a little.
Let's
like 12-7 or something.
Let's see. 8.
I think it's something.
Yep.
Is it 12-7?
Yep.
So JLA winning by a landslide at this point. But you in the chat can give us your vote. Which issue number 20 is the one you would prefer to go and buy? Not because a value that you're going to resell it or something, but the one that you were like, I want that book. Of the two, if you're telling me I get one or the other, which is the one you're picking? Ryan, do you have a clear thought on this?
I do.
Okay.
And not that I would want to give up my Justice Leagues because it completes my collection.
Or either one, because you got two of them.
Yes. I want to go Avengers on this. I just like the Avengers one overall much better.
Okay.
So they're going to end up getting my overall vote tonight.
Okay. And it looks like Bobby and Matt are both with you. And I think I'm with you as well. And the overall is a much closer. The only category that was a clear one or the other for me was cover. But the rest of these, I feel like in general are pretty close. I didn't particularly like love passionately either issue, but if the question is which one would I read again, which one would I want to have, to read again in the near future, it's going to be Avengers for me as well.
Yeah, totally understand that.
So a possible clean sweep here. 2 votes in the chat, 2 votes on the panel, all of them in favor of the same book. As a reminder, and let me share this. The next time you see our show, it is going to be the big finale of season number 1, I should say. Sorry, season 1. We will be over on Ryan's channel to break down this set of issues and specifically share our copies of 11 through 20. This is when I get excited because I get to open the issues and check to see, because some of them I don't know if I've checked to see Marvel value stamps are included and all that kind of stuff. But we'll be on Ryan's channel somewhere middle of January at some point, and we'll be just basically looking back on all 20 issues that we've read from this run, and then showing our issues 11 through 20 like we did when we first kicked this all off. There's a whole playlist of this here on my channel, and I think Ryan's got it on his channel possibly as well.
I do.
You can scroll through. If there's a particular issue you're like, oh, I want to see issue 4, I want to see issue 7, you can go and find that in the playlist and enjoy that. So huge appreciative of anybody hanging out to watch. Matt says, such a fantastic stream. How often do you do this? It's a once a month thing. We usually find time. We've done 21 episodes, right? Yeah,
21 episodes, but 20 issues.
Yeah.
Because we did
and it's been about 18 months. So we're on a pace of a little over 1 a month.
And the next one, I think, is going to be a lot of fun because it's a big key for Justice League.
21.
Yeah, 21 is a big key for the next time we do the book. So Bobby wants to see the covers again.
Whammo. There you go, buddy. Issue 20 of Avengers, issue 20 of Justice League of America from the Silver Age. And we're going to call this as an Avengers victory. I don't think that there's anybody that's going to jump in here and cast 3 votes for the JLA here at the last second.
But thank you guys for being here tonight. That was fun.
Yeah. Ryan, you dropped a video today. You got some stuff coming up that you want to highlight for people. His links are down below, of course, as they are every time.
So I dropped a comic book editions video yesterday, actually, and it's a huge Marvel key. It's the first appearance of one of the characters that we talked about tonight. Their very first appearance is now in my comic book collection.
Nice.
Plus, in the same video, I have a new omnibus that I've added into my collection. I have a DC Blind Bag holiday unboxing.
Nice.
And I'm getting ready next month to do a 1,000 subscriber celebration party. And I revealed the grand prize. There's going to be a lot of prizes, but I revealed the grand prize in that video yesterday. So look for that on my channel already. Also, I have my back issue of the week short. I've been doing that. I've almost wrapped up 4 years, haven't missed a week. So I'm getting ready to kick off year number 5. The current back issue of the week is on Micronauts, which guest stars the Fantastic Four in the issue that I picked. I had Fanboys Live in the Retro Review, the greatest DC Comics show on YouTube. That we did our last show for the year this past Sunday, and we had Man Cave Comics on. And if you know Man Cave, first of all, you know he brought the heat and the fire.
He did. He did.
But I'll tell you, besides his book show where he shows off books that are just amazing.
Yeah.
And I literally was like, I'm so excited to know that my friend owns that comic book. You know, since I can't own it, at least my friend owns it. So, but not only that, let me tell you this. He even did voices and sound effects in his retro review. So I think that's a fun rewind. So look for all of that on my channel. If you're not subscribed, certainly would love for you to subscribe to the channel.
And congrats on 1,000. And I will be giving away at least 3 prizes as well that night.
Wow.
Yeah.
You keep upgrading. I knew of 1 and then I knew of 2 and now we're at 3.
I promised that I would do an indie comic book giveaway. Some great indie books that I love. I'm going to be doing a Women of DC giveaway. And then I'll probably do another giveaway where I let somebody dive into my trade paperbacks and choose a few things for their reading enjoyment that they want. So yeah, lots of prizes will be happening. So stay tuned and hit the notification bell for Ryan for that big party.
Awesome. So I'm looking forward to it. And by the way, I'm not going to say which one, but it is a Wonder Woman CGC slab that I'm giving away that's valued between like $150 and $200. That's the grand prize. So, and I know it's a book that I know a lot of people that seem to be working on this volume of Wonder Woman, and this is an issue they don't have in their collection because it's expensive. So this is a chance to. I know you have it in your collection, and you got a heck of a steal on it when you got your copy.
Yeah.
So
I think my LCS got robbed by me.
Yeah, but I think it's a good prize. But there's going to be other really fun prizes, and I haven't said this. There's going to be an omnibus.
Ooh. So then I better jump in the chat and try to win some of those. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, the links for Ryan's channel are down below. As far as my channel, every Thursday I've been dropping videos. So I got a video coming up tomorrow, and I believe it's this one where I talk about blaming characters for bad writing. Sometimes I give a little hate to guys like Cyclops or Hal Jordan, even though I collect their books and their omnis and things like that, because of certain bad writing choices, right? So that is up now for channel members like Ryan. They can go and watch that video now. So you can hit the join button and check it out, or wait till tomorrow when that video drops. Next Thursday, I'm doing 5 must-read indie books for new readers. So if you haven't read many independent comic books, I run through 5 of my favorites that might be for you. So every Thursday, I usually drop a video, although with Thursday being New Year's Day and Christmas Day, I might shift that on those weeks. However, I am preparing 3 of my all-time favorite videos here for the beginning of January. I'm going to do my favorite books from Marvel in 2025, favorite books from DC for 2025, and my favorite indie books for 2025. I've been reading a ton this year. Love reading some of these great new books. So if you're looking for books to read from 2025. Maybe you felt like books were really disappointing in 2025. I got you covered because there were great comics out there, and I can give you some recommendations. So look forward to that. I will be dropping one of those a week starting in January, and you can enjoy all that content. So that's what's coming up for me.
Well, Merry Christmas to you, John. Happy New Year. Buddy. Thank you for doing the show with me, which I enjoy so much. And here's to many more fun shows in our future.
Absolutely, man. And I appreciate any opportunity to hang out and talk with you. Incredibly knowledgeable and a whole lot of fun. And I get to go through and read these books. I've bought these omnis. I have the first 2 volumes of Avengers. I got the Justice League Volume 1. It's great to have someone like you to be able to sit and talk about these books each month. So I appreciate you.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us in the chat. And we will catch you guys again on Ryan's channel. Look, there it's over there next month.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Bye.